Hi everyone, we love that you are loving the videos, and if not, that's fine too. But if you love the production and you love us and the stories we share, then maybe consider buying us a coffee and becoming a patron.
Yeah, so when you become a patron, not only do you support the hours upon hours that go into making each video, you also get exclusive content, access to patron-only videos, and other really cool perks.
Yeah, so we love that we get to share our lives with you, share our attempt at living with a lighter carbon footprint, share our stories and our struggles and our triumphs, and ultimately we love that we have the opportunity to create a community because we both wholeheartedly believe that we can all go further together.
Yeah, so we're going to link our Patreon in the description below, and thanks again. Enjoy the video.
Enjoy!
Here we are, walking back to the boat. Thank you, Ella and Lou, for a wonderful evening. It was really nice seeing you, and can't wait to see you again tomorrow. I just can't believe that we are walking down this dock to go to our boat in front of this city right now. It is just absolutely incredible. And I am so excited to be here. There's Katy. She's excited too. She's running. We're both so sleepy. We had a long day. We had 33 miles on the boat, and then we immediately walked like 5 miles to my sister's apartment. Look at this. Holy moly. That's a sight I didn't know if I'd ever see at some points. Jeez. Look at that. That is a beauty. Hey everyone, I'm Parker.
And I'm Katy.
And this is our boat, Seawind. I bought Seawind in 2016 with my entire savings and no clue what it would take to turn her into what she is today. With the help of my dad and a few friends, I slowly tackled project after project, transforming this old boat into what I envisioned when we first met. Halfway through this 5.5-year project, I met Katy, and we've been inseparable ever since. In truth, this only shows a fraction of what it really took in order to get to where we're at today, in a beautiful Anchorage, making this video.
Together, we have come a long way. We have learned the beautiful and brutal lessons that the water has to offer. We have come to know heartache and loss and to dance despite it all. I work a full-time job on the go, which presents its own unique challenges and opportunities. But at the end of the day, it's our desire to move slowly and live fully that makes it all worth it.
Sailing Seawind is our unique attempt at showing how we choose to live with a lighter carbon footprint, how we plan to make our mark on this ever-changing world. It's a place for us to show that every one of us is connected, and that we will all go further together. Good morning. We are just waking up from our first night in the city with Seawind, and it is absolutely gorgeous here. I cannot believe that we have woken up finally in New York City. This is wild. We didn't really sleep too well last night. There's one big problem with this marina, in my opinion, and it's probably a problem with a lot of marinas around here. There's no protection from the outside currents or wake from boats, big boats that make big wake. And what I mean by that is there's no break wall right on the outside perimeter of the marina. What's happening is, since we're tied to a dock, the boat is getting picked up by these little swells and lurched forward or back. It really puts a huge load and very sharp force on all of my deck hardware. They had mentioned something like it was some perk of this place, that they installed some state-of-the-art dampening system, some sort of wall extending down under the water, and so it's supposed to, look, you can see these ripples. I don't know if you can see. The dock is doing like a wave right now. I see a couple docks that are open. I'm gonna try and see if they can move me, because I think we're just in a very vulnerable spot. we've moved spots, and this is about combination number 4 or 5 of how I have the dock line set up. It's funny, this is like one of those moments that we know that we are in like this, almost like our first exotic place on the boat, New York City, and we're so happy about it. We've had so much fun so far, but these little teeny tiny things can feel like some form of torture when you're in paradise.
When you wake up in the morning, because it's not just a vacation, it's our life. That's the thing.
Right.
So we still have things to do, and waking up and knowing you have to like work, or how I had to like record something for work and not knowing how I was going to make that happen, where and when, and needing to move the boat and needing to make these decisions. It's just, you don't forget that you're in the most, like, such an incredible situation or place.
Something you tell me all the time, like it's okay to not feel okay sometimes.
Things can be beautiful and brutal at the same time.
Hey, darling, we could get out of
Cheers.
town. See the beautiful world around, wanna see it now.
This is good.
Pizza's good. Eat pizza, make love.
We just went to Luzo's Pizzeria, and it was the best margarita pizza.
You've ever had?
I think it was one of the best pizzas I've ever had, yeah. This is night 2 in New York, and we are just walking back to the boat. Our poor Seawind is not having a good time there at the dock, and it's painful to hear and watch. But we're here, and as soon as you step off the boat, it's infinitely better.
Hey, darling, I love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for 2. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time.
Well, this is a sad moment. The trio is leaving. We're staying here in New York for a little while. And so we're walking over to say goodbye to them. They're going to shove off and make the trek down the New Jersey coast to Cape May. And we will see you guys in Annapolis. We'll miss you. Trio's getting ready to cast off the lines again. They're leaving without us. Bye. Peace. Guess who's here? Hello, Lou. Welcome to New York.
10 years. I've been here for 10 years.
Longer than that.
I'm trying to change people better.
They just got the tour of the boat, so
Not first time on it, but first time since.
yeah. First time in a long time. So. Okay.
It's like eating an olive, actually. You should try it.
I'm not
Do it. You won't.
Luis is going.
Yeah, there's another eye. There's another eye. You want me to eat it for your YouTube channel? Shout out to my grandma.
Where are we going?
Farmer's market.
It's Saturday morning.
Good morning.
We just had coffee and breakfast. Ella and Lou are taking us to their secret farmer's market spot.
Ultra secret.
Ultra
Nobody
secret.
knows about it.
No.
Except for 100
Exclusive.
people.
You gotta name drop to get in. Oh, she sees a bird. She saw a bird. Oh no. Whoa, Luna. That's some pretty good,
That was pretty good.
oh boy.
Fast tail.
Wow. She's pretty good at that. Well, Katie and I are freshly showered in my sister's apartment. So what Katie and I have been doing is we've been looking at a couple different wind and weather forecasting websites that we use, and we're trying to start looking at weather for the end of the week that would be best to sail down to Cape May. It's about 110 nautical miles. There's no inland waterway that you can use for this passage, so you have to sail out and around New Jersey and down the coast to Cape May. And so I'll show you what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. This is where we are right here in New York. Here's Lower Manhattan. Tomorrow we are going to leave the marina and we are going to head out of here and come down through this channel. And then it looks like we're going to go out and anchor in this Sandy Hook Point. So this is a website called Windy, and it's pretty cool. On the phone, you can download the app, but you have limited features. On the computer, though, you can do actually distance and planning, and you can see what kind of conditions are predicted for a passage. So here I've put in a few waypoints which take us all the way down the coast. Starting out, it's predicted to have light and variable winds, almost like a southeast wind. And then as we further our trip along the coast, we are forecasted to have an onshore breeze, which an offshore breeze is always the most ideal because it would be coming from off the shore, so you wouldn't have much of a sea state. But as we go along here, we're forecasted for anywhere from 11 to 15 or so, just behind the beam of our boat, so it's a pretty ideal point of sail. The wave forecast is supposed to be anywhere from 2 to 3 feet from pretty much the direction of the wind. You know, that's all right. It's always nice when the wind and the waves line up. What do we got going on here, Katie? Katie May. Soda bread.
Oh.
Ella's making a vegetarian chili. We had a Great British Bake Off. Okay, family outing. Sailing past the Statue of Liberty. First time ever. We got a shitload of boats.
This is a perfect view right here for it.
We're sailing pretty hard on the wind right now.
Yeah, you got the Statue of Liberty behind you and the World Trade Center, the whole skyline right there.
Wonderful day. More wind than was forecasted, and that was a really great thing. So it was forecasted for like maybe 5 to 6 knots, and out there in the bay we actually had 10 to 12. And so we were making some apparent wind, sailing upwind, so it was really wonderful. About 6:30 in the morning. Seawind, who's just been tugging at her lines and hasn't been very happy here, is ready to get off the dock. We're going to move the boat 17 miles towards the mouth of the Atlantic, and there's an anchorage there called the Atlantic Highlands that we are going to take advantage of, and then we are going to leave for our passage to Cape May tomorrow. Well, goodbye Brooklyn, goodbye Ella and Lou. We love you. It was the most wonderful weekend with you guys. Thank you for the hospitality and showing us a side of Brooklyn that we have never seen. And we'll see you next time. And thanks to 115 Marina for working with us for our stay and being understanding of weather windows, and when you gotta go, you just gotta go. Well, that's one last goodbye to the New York skyline. It's so beautiful with all that fogginess this morning. It was supposed to be raining most of the day today. Now it's not supposed to rain until about 2 o'clock. Did a little bit this morning before we woke up, and now it's just overcast and sweatshirt weather, so can't complain.
What you don't see here is the suffocating overwhelm I was feeling. Or maybe you can, since I've never been great at hiding my emotions with my facial expressions. I had a full week of work ahead with 2 4-hour team meetings, among many other responsibilities. We were preparing for our first overnight passage and first sail on the Atlantic Ocean, just the 2 of us. I had to find a way to be a good employee, solid partner, and present sailor.
So that bridge over there that we're headed under is called the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and where New York comes to a point here and New Jersey comes to a point there. This is called the Narrows. And then once we get underneath that bridge, it opens up into the lower bay of New York and New Jersey.
Some days I feel like a literal superhero, and some days I'm being crushed by what feels like the weight of the world on my shoulders, unsure of how I'll make it all work. But some way, somehow, it always does.
New York City, almost can't see it now.
Almost trapped us.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, that place will suck you in if you don't watch yourself.
Against your will.
Yeah, against your will, yeah. Whether you like it or not. Okay, we've made it to Sandy Hook Point. So you can see that the beach comes out, and then there's a man right there that is standing at the point, and then there's this little bay that goes back in here. Okay, we just anchored and set the anchor using the engine. I have 50 feet of chain out right now. We're in 17 feet of water. I'm gonna pay out a little bit more. So here we are, anchored at Sandy Hook Point. It's a beautiful place. Overcast today. Katie's doing some work. We have really great cell phone reception here, so she has a real high-speed internet service right now. And I'm out in the cockpit. What I'm working on is a project that I've been wanting to do for a while. I am making a new preventer system for the boom. And so what I'm doing is I have a really good attachment point right at the end. There's a bail at the end of the boom. And I am making some lanyards out of this 1/4-inch Dyneema that are gonna stay permanently on either side of the boom. That way, when we are sailing downwind, we'll be able to prevent the mainsail and boom from an accidental crash jibe. That way you don't have to lean out over the water to try and connect the preventer to the end of the boom, which is very dangerous when you're sailing, or just at all, because you have a pretty high risk of falling over when you're, leaning out like that. So this is my all things Dyneema and splicing duffel bag. This was actually gifted to me by our good friend Matthew. He owns a boat named Australis. We miss you, Matthew. And so here's my first splice. So you can see how the tail disappears there. So this will get luggage tagged around the bail that I have on the end of the boom. And I'll show you what I did here. So at the end of the boom, you can see out there's a lanyard attached to that bail. And I have two of them, one for starboard, one for port. And then they are just tied off. This is a little bit of high-strength fishing line that's cored with Dyneema fibers. And I just kind of luggage tagged it here, and this is where my boom bang attaches. So they're just going to stay here. And so then when we are in either downwind point of sail, I'll be able to take this Dyneema, whichever strap I need, off. And I'll be able to connect my actual preventer to this loop right here. Okay, so next project of the day is adjusting some of the supporting bearings that the rudder shaft rides on. And last time we were on a downwind sail, I noticed that there was a few things that seemed a little bit loose, and so I need to tighten some things up. So I had to take everything out of the cockpit locker. I have to go down into here. Okay, so here's the this is the port side cockpit locker. There used to be a propane tank here. There was a big well here, and I ended up taking it out because I couldn't get to anything back here. So now, being down here in this hole, I can get to things like all of the plumbing for the fuel tank, and I can get to all the rudder shaft stuff. This year, I rebuilt this stuffing box here, put a new packing gland tube on it, hose, and I repacked it. This is the bearing that I'm talking about up here, right here. And so I was getting a little bit of movement out of this shaft. When you're sailing downwind, there's a lot of pressure on the back of the boat, and in turn, a lot of pressure on the rudder. And so I'm just tightening up these bolts here, and I'm gonna loosen up and allow this bearing in here to align with the rudder shaft. Here's our rudder quadrant. It's a rack and pinion steering, so it's a reverse mount wheel. And so everything's working smoothly. Rudder post is nice and stable. Tightened up those brackets that are right here. These are what support that carrier bearing that was allowing the shaft to move maybe like maybe an eighth of an inch at most. And I just didn't want that to happen, so we should be good. We have another neighbor. Can't tell what it is. Okay, well, Katie is just about done with work. Today is the 4th of October. We've got quite a few little tiny projects done and well underway. Katie is doing a little bit of a down dog. She just got up for the first time all day. I made us dinner. We got rice, garlic and onion with baby bok choy as a green, and crispy tofu. And then we'll top it with sesame seeds and a little bit of coconut aminos, which is our favorite, pretty much our favorite thing ever. Condiment? Yeah, condiment, yeah. There's about 8 other boats now in the anchorage. It looks like we're all like-minded people, so it makes us feel better for leaving for this big sail, just Katy and I tomorrow. The other boats are thinking the same thing and the same weather window, so. Finished product.